First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to our town hall, and anyone who's new to the town hall. The purpose is just to give a quick update out of respect for your time. We try and keep it as brief as possible, and then answer any questions in the community just to make sure that everyone's on the same page and our communications are as clear as possible. So on that note, I'm going to let Suzanne start with the pledge, and then I'll pull the slides up here.
All right. So everybody can join me. I can't see anybody, so it's like I'm doing it solo, but let's give it a go. So I don't know if I can stand up. I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Okay, since I'm not logged in as CEO, I guess you're going to have to share the screen. So it won't let me do that either.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
So today we're going to do a few updates. I have a couple, and then we'll do a COVID update. Obviously, we want to make sure everyone's up to speed on that. And then we're going to shift to some programming updates from Suzanne, and I see Tracy's on here as well. So that pretty much covers that. Oh, and then we'll have a club supplies update as well from Suzanne.
So just if you have a question, you can put it in the chat or the Q&A, and Tracy's here to help us navigate that, Kurt, so we can
perfect,
not miss a question there.
That sounds great. All right, and before we get started, I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. It's 2022. I'm truly hoping that it's a fresh new year, and I think 2022 is going to be a good one. It looks like we've got a lot of members registered, and a lot of our volunteers and leaders are signed up and screened and gone through a lot of their training. So we're set up for a really good year, and let's hope that we at some point get to the tail end of this pandemic and continue to serve our youth in more in-person events. So on that note, I'll jump to my quick update. So the first thing is the scoop gets published monthly. We put everything we can in there. I try and list out anything that I think is important from my role. And then Suzanne and Tracy and everyone else on our team are doing the exact same thing. So there is sections in there for different regions and different pieces of information. Even if you just skim read it, it's very valuable to find a few pieces in there. But just always check that. That's kind of the centerpiece for most of our 4-H information. And when it started, it was kind of a little document, like a couple pages, but it's turned into quite a comprehensive update from a lot of people. So again, it's really hard to communicate. There's 22 of us and 3,000, just about 3,000 volunteers across the province, or 2,500 volunteers. And that's why we're focusing on the town hall, and the scoop is kind of our center points for communication. Want to put the next piece in. And the other update is our scholarships. I think a lot of people don't know that are new to 4-H, but the scholarship program is massive. I'm not sure if it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 a year that are given out in scholarships, which is very significant. And a lot of those are well on track this year and should be circulated pretty soon. And then we should have our updated reports right away on the scholarship balances for anybody who oversees those scholarships. I see a question popped up.
It's just about the deadline for the scoop. I can answer that, Kurt.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Tracy. I'm gonna give it there we go. And then this one's really exciting. I'd like to give a big thank you for the new educational outdoor kitchen. We did our first kind of year-end fundraiser and partnered with UFA and raised $49,000 in a short month or two. And I'm really excited about this because we're gonna get this outdoor kitchen in place right away at the 4-H center. If Sherry was on, she'd be dancing around for us because she was very excited about the potential to increase our educational components of the 4-H center with this. So thank you to all of the donors, and a big thank you to UFA for matching some of this, quite a bit of this funding. So it was excellent to raise this much, and we're going to make sure that this kitchen is in place as soon as we can possibly get it done. Now, there's one more piece here. The deadline is, there's 2 days. Oh, this is a different topic. Sorry, I can't. There we go. There's 2 days left to complete the voluntary survey. A lot of responses in there. There's a few generalized questions from us and then some key questions from one of our sponsors. We're going to go through all of the results and use that to make sure that we get 4-H as much as we can aligned with our community as we continue forward here. So that's it on my side. I feel like this is one of my smallest updates in a year and a half, so I'm pretty excited. Next one will be COVID, and Sherry's unavailable right now, so I'll be providing a quick COVID update. So first of all, I'll say it at the beginning and the end, 4-H Alberta will continue to follow AHS guidelines. That's our requirement as an organization in this province. We follow the mandates of the government, and you know, people have different opinions on this all the time, and you know, that's definitely not our place. We follow whatever the mandates are in the government. We haven't added or taken away from any of them. So we will continue to follow AHS guidelines. And then on that note, when you are planning your activity, event or meeting, always check your facility to make sure that you're following the regulations laid out from AHS. And then also always respect the requirements of the facility that you're working with, because they may have different guidelines, and that's not up to us, and it's not up to any of the leaders of 4-H. It's really up to each facility what they're doing. So, but for all things, we're going to follow AHS guidelines, and we've been sticking to this from the beginning. I've seen a lot of other not-for-profits kind of take different approaches, and we have strictly stuck to the AHS guidelines throughout this whole thing. It's also a good idea to check with the local health inspector, because some of the rules or some of the decisions that were made in different communities may be different depending on where you are. So always just check with the local health inspector, especially if you're planning something of significance. And then I'll close again saying we follow AHS guidelines. That's what we've been doing from the beginning. So if you ever want to know, just go to AHS, and there's a link from our website as well. But just go there and take a look at the guidelines. They're pretty clear at this point. All right. Over to you, Suzanne.
I will take this one. All right. So club supplies. I know there's a show of hands of everybody on here's probably went through the club supplies ordering process this year. So just a quick update on this. We do get lots of questions. Our area coordinators get a lot of questions in regards to club supplies this year. So I want to give you a couple little facts. This year we have prepared in partnership, and I'll talk about our partnership in a minute, over 4,000 items to head out to clubs, and that doesn't count every single item that is printed. So that's only 4,000 like different things. It was actually 4,336 when I looked today. But there is much more resources in there because there would be 10 of one item for different members and stuff like that. So when I say that, I am blown away by that number of volume, because no one in our organization right now has handled club supplies before. So this was a new adventure that we embarked on last January on a brisk day. a ton of boxes arrived at the 4-H center, and we organized those boxes. We did some inventory on those boxes, and we wanted to make sure that we provided a good quality club supply program out to our members. Now, there was a ton printed before, and we looked at that and said, what do we do with this? Do we get it out? How can we best manage the club supply order for this fall? So we did partner with a great partner named Staples, and they've been doing a great job for us. We have thrown a ton of information at them, and whatever we give them, they are printing for us. There's been a few hiccups all along the way, but I would say that those are not Staples hiccups. Those are 4-H learning the ropes of club supplies. We decided on a hybrid option. So there are items that are coming from the 4-H center, as well as part of your order does come from Staples. Moving forward, we want to expand our partnership with Staples and make sure that they are printing everything, because we've had a lot of hands on deck. We've had some area coordinators out. We've had the staff at the center packing boxes and shipping as best as we can. Another little did you know tidbit is that clubs don't place one club supply order. They sometimes don't place 2, they sometimes place 3 and 4. So that actually makes it a little bit more challenging, because sometimes they're doing repeat orders on different things. But we are trying to manage those as best we can. So ordering, clubs order the same process as they did before. Those orders come in, we identify what is going to be printed by Staples and what is going to be shipped from the 4-H center. They're shipped off to printing, and depending, printing or packing, and we plan accordingly. They are shipped from the 4-H center using Canada Post, and from Staples, majority of those orders have went via FedEx. Some have went Purolator or UPS as well, but majority have went FedEx. And we know everybody would love their orders to come Canada Post. However, most centers do have courier locations, which we weren't able to use some of the offices that were previously used, government offices, AFSCs, or those type of buildings, because most of them have been closed through COVID to the outside public, so it might be a challenge to pick up those items. So that wasn't an option for us this year. And we've navigated the FedEx. They usually land there, and then Canada Post is from the 4-H center, like I said before. And then receiving, I did mention that you'll receive it from 2 different places. So you'll get a Staples package, you'll get a 4-H center package. Sometimes you'll only get a Staples package. It just depends on what you ordered for club supplies, because every club is different. There's no standards. A sewing club orders this, a beef club orders this. They're all very different from what clubs are ordering. Some challenges that we've come along is maybe a little bit of the delivery service, multiple orders from clubs, navigating a whole new system. And we've also come across some items that we actually did not have any digital version of. So when we ran out of it physically at the 4-H center, we haven't found that digital copy of it yet. And so we have been borrowing from other provinces, trying to fulfill those orders. We've taken this as a great opportunity. Like I said, I learned how many items go out the door. What is the best way to ship? What's the best way to collect information? And we're going to learn from that for sure, or making sure that the club supply process is improved in the future. So you can provide us your comments, but we have been keeping track of any hiccup that we have come across. In the information about club supplies, we started filtering that stuff out in the scoops early in the fall. So if you're looking for more updates about club supplies, make sure you're checking out the scoop, because we will have some information for you in February. We are hoping to close all club supply orders by the end of January because we did note last year that some clubs were ordering record books in June. And if I could see all your faces, some of you, your jaws would drop. Why would you be ordering record books in June? But every club operates a little bit different, but we encourage everybody to get their orders in before the end of January. And we will provide some more information in the February scoop. Cleaver Kit items, they're not in your package, but your club will receive a Cleaver Kit only package because Viterra again has joined forces with us and they want to provide a connection kit to all of the Cleaver Kits. And we are out of some of the US resources. Those are printed resources. We can't just pull the staple and scan them because we do not own those resources and we don't have an agreement with them. So some clubs will not be receiving those US resources as we are out of them. And the livestock clubs that have not received your purchase agreement, they will be coming later in the mail as well. So that's what's still coming. So we appreciate all the patience and as we learn this new system and improve it for next year. That's my short version of club supplies.
Thank you. And Lorna asked a question and Tracy answered, but any questions related to club supplies, email Tracy Dietrich at 4hab.com. And it's funny because I talk to people and some have gotten their supplies earlier than they've ever gotten them and others haven't. So it's I had a shipment that went from Calgary to Westeros or from Westeros to Calgary, and it took a week and a half in Canada Post. So it's kind of, actually that took 2.5 weeks. So it's been a little bit challenging. I think COVID's kind of layered up on the delivery times. And we also had some facilities that were typically taking deliveries that aren't open for business, which has made it a little more challenging as well. So yeah, like Suzanne said, it's lessons learned. I think we've got a high end of a significant amount of them delivered and in hands, but we still do have a few that are held up. And if you have any questions, again, reach out to Tracy Dietrich at 4hab.com.
Mm-hmm. Before I go on, I was going to mention there, Kurt, I was going to mention there are factors, no, my slides are all for delays in some of the club supplies. So this year, our area coordinators are doing a fantastic job making sure that each club has a trained leader and a screened volunteer to start off. So until that occurs and they're able to approve the club. So when the club is approved, they submit their supply orders, and we did have clubs submit their supply orders before they were approved. And then we also wait for payment for the registration fees. So we're cross-referencing two systems, but those are two things that we do look at to make sure that clubs are approved, that they've registered, they've fulfilled their commitments, as well as their registration fees have been received. All right, so the next one, I'm gonna call on Tracy to help me tag team this one. I'll call on you, Tracy, when it's your turn to speak to something. All of these little graphics, you've probably seen them on social media, you've probably seen them in the scoop. This is all information that can be found in the scoop as well as on the website. So I know our programs team, our area coordinators, they do their hardest work trying to get everything out in the month before scoop or in advance so people can plan, clubs can plan. So really do use that as your source of information. So first off, over in the left is the Youth Advisory Committee. There are a few days left. The deadlines for applying for that is January 19th. And that is an opportunity to represent 4-H in Alberta at a national level. So that is for someone ages 18 to 25. They will work with 4-H Canada. They will get to travel a little bit and develop their skills. So if you have any questions about that, do reach out to Maddie Luft. She will answer all your questions for that. And we would love to see some more applications filter in by January 19th. Those individuals that apply will go through an interview process and then be selected. And that individual actually travel to Halifax in April. So tell your members, they don't have to be a current member. They can be a recent 4-H member just out of the program. CPA has generously partnered with us again, and we are offering a Trailblazer program. So watch your inboxes. Members are able to register for that to enhance their entrepreneurial skills. 4-H ambassadors, that's actually on the next slide, so I'll talk about that one in a second. And I did see Bianca on here as well, UFA funds 4-H. So check that out at that link there. You can apply for funding for your activity or event or your club in support from UFA. It is communication season. Just today, I want you to go and check out the 4-H website. There has been some tips and hints, or maybe some information that you've been curious about the 2022 communication events coming up. So that is on the page under member requirements. You'll find the information about 2022. And then all of the resources, the communication tools, the public speaking tools, and the presentation tools are there as well. So, and your area coordinators are great helping to navigate as you set up those events. ATB, the middle in the picture, or the picture in the middle with the calculator. There are 2 webinars, January 19th and February 2nd coming up. The last ones were very well received, and there's lots of registrations for these ones as well. I have to move my photo. Tracy, I'm going to kick it over to you if you're there, if you want to just briefly talk about carcass numbers, pheasants, and judging.
So we've got a multi-species judging learning series coming up with Lakeland College. Their judging team has agreed to help us put on a workshop for our kids. This is going to run on 4 nights, and the members are split by their judging ability. Pretty excited about that. The male match competition for our archery members has quite a number of registrants for that, and that registration deadline is January 15th. And if you have any questions about that, please check out the registration form that's in the profile, and it gives you who to contact, because that's Jody Walkowicz. Our carcass project is well underway. We have 115 members participating in that competition this year. We've got the DNA samples have been sent, and so we'll be waiting those results, and then there'll be a webinar planned for those members to participate in. But I've seen most of the calves. The kids have all sent in pictures, and it's exciting to watch them grow. I'll be asking them for a little report here soon, and so that's a really cool thing. And also the pheasant project will get rolling here shortly. There was an email sent out yesterday to all that I know have registered in the system. Email went to them reminding them to get their forms signed, and for leaders to get their tally sheets in, so we make sure that the pheasants get ordered on time. That deadline is February 10th. So we've got lots of deadlines and lots of cool things coming up. Along with the judging series, we're also planning the 4-H judging competition, and it's in Vermilion on March the 11th. We're doing it in conjunction with their judging competition there, and hoping for a great turnout. So that'll be in the scoop letting people know about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Tracy. So on to ambassadors. Our ambassadors, the last town hall, I believe in November, we shared who the ambassadors were. They are so gung-ho. Maddie's been working with them. She really does enjoy working with this group of ambassadors, as they're so enthusiastic about supporting regions. So this little chart, you can quickly scribe down your ambassador's email. So there's one email for each group of ambassadors from a region. So they all share that. You can reach out to them. They will get back to you with your requests. If you do have anything, just general inquiry questions, you can reach out to your area coordinator or Maddie, Madeline Left, who is leading the ambassadors through their year. So they're excited. They have lots of great ideas and bring a lot of skills to you. So feel free to reach out to them. Their names are on the left there, and then their email address. This also can be found on the 4-H website. Okay, what's coming? We that little update that Tracy and I just give is basically from January until March, but we do have a lot of other programs cooking. One is a 4-H Alberta Leader Workshop. So those of you who attended in November, we're going to build on those sessions. And I believe we've been talking to Michelle, and maybe she can come back and join us. So watch for that information. Youth leaders that completed Y-Lead or previously CIT. Regions are looking for you right now, so make sure you're encouraging any of your senior members that completed Y-Lead or CIT to see what options are there for winter programming, because they can get involved in that. Our team's been working on reviewing and looking at key members, so you can look at or look forward to information about that that'll be shared with key leaders, and they'll work together with key members. The cute little sheep, I don't know what kind of sheep that is, so if anybody knows what kind of sheep that is, put it in the chat. He looked like he was warm and there was no snow in that picture, so that's why I picked that one. But the SHAC committee, the Sheep Advisory Committee, has some webinars up their sleeve. They will be February 15th and March 11th, if I have those dates correct. The Science Day is Discover Science, open to intermediate members. That one is coming in April, so look for information for that. Senior Symposium, the spring edition, will be held at Olds College in May, and we will be working on awarding those travel opportunities if we can have them, fingers crossed that our members are able to travel. And we're already talking about summer. So we're already filling up that July and August calendar. So make sure that you always keep that in mind when you're planning. Next slide. The South 4-H region is hosting a mental health awareness leader workshop. It's a 3-hour workshop, January 16th, 6:30 to 9:30. This workshop is at a reduced fee. It's $20, and there are limited spaces left. Excuse me. It is first come, first serve. It is open to leaders province-wide because we want to fill the workshop, and you can register that by going to your profile on the online registration system. I don't have a photo for it, but I should have slided in there is the 4-H alumni. That's kind of situated in West Central. They are planning and so excited to have their annual senior ski trip March 4th to 6th. So that was just posted on social media, but it is open in the registration system for senior members and I believe older intermediates to attend. So check that out. The alumni are so excited to chaperone that because they haven't been able to go for the last couple of years. So we look forward for them to being able to do that as well. Isaiah, as I was leaving the office, I was like, holy man, there's boxes arriving at the 4-H center every day. He is filling up the 4-H store with all kinds of awesome merchandise. And here are just some pictures of some new things. Like there's hair ties, ankle socks, the long socks, stickers, all that kind of stuff. And that is, the catalog is updated on the 4-H website. So make sure you go check that out. And if you call him and sweet talk him, maybe he's got a deal or two for you. And those little Christmas dukes are limited edition Christmas ornaments. There are some left from last year, but as soon as they're gone, they're gone. So make sure you get a Christmas ornament before you take down your tree. I think that's all. I could be a salesman. Look at all that fun stuff though.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I
So-
feel better about still having my Christmas tree up too.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Suzanne.
The needles aren't falling, it can stay.
Yeah, I just love when you wait too long and then you try and get it through your door and they just explode. So,
And you find them in July.
all right. Thanks for that update, Suzanne and Tracy. We've had several questions. Kelly and Lorna and Trish have asked questions and they've all been answered. I believe we've covered everything. If anyone else has any questions, please just type it in. We'll wait a few more minutes and then otherwise we'll wrap up.
Yes, I really like that provincial judging question. That it's worth mentioning is that this year we have partnered with Lakeland College and it is open to junior, intermediate, and seniors. We're hoping, again, fingers crossed, and COVID's likes to throw us some wrenches every once in a while, that there will be some travel opportunities, but those will only be available for senior members. But you can bring your whole club and participate in that event at the college.
Perfect. All right, I'm not seeing any additional questions. Are you, Suzanne?
I don't. Tracy, do you see anything? She was.
Didn't see any questions.
No, I don't see anything either.
Okay, well, for those who were unable to make it, we have recorded this. We can end the recording and then we'll post that on for anyone to view later. If there's somebody that you think needs an update, you can definitely send that our way. And otherwise, we'll see you at the next town hall, in the very least, in 2 months.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for coming out.
See you guys.